Update 7 Devil Fruit tier list. Now, you just heard me say what this video is going to be about, but it is an update 7 Devil Fruit tier list, and I'll be ranking the tier list based off of two things: PvE and PvP. So outside of that, I will just immediately jump right into this because this video will probably be pretty long. The video will probably be pretty long, and what I do want to say is that this is based off of my opinion and my use of these fruits inside BR mode, dungeons, arena, or even ship grinding back then when I used to do that. So outside of that, I guess we will start off and we will just go down this list and these fruits that I just made right here. So I guess I'll start off with the easy ones, and there'll also be timestamps for every single fruit below, but I will start off with the easy ones, and I actually will just go down the whole entire list, and whatever pops up I'll just talk about it in a moment. And the first thing here is actually going to be bomb. Now bomb, this fruit, if I'm being honest with you, I'll say it's pretty good now. Bomb it's a pretty good fruit now. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Bomb is really good. The main thing that I'm thinking of when I talk about bomb, or just remember it, would be all of the bomb videos for Bari mode. Cause like you would bring them in, and after that, if one of your teammates had bomb, this was like a full devil fruit build, you'll be able to place down bomb mines, and those do like 70 a hit. And not only that, your explosive swipe could do up to 100 damage, and you also do have a leap skill, and you can Q dash as well. So it's honestly a really good fruit. And if you're in team modes, you can also do self-destruction. And then when you come to bomb for PvE, taking in the fact that in PvE you'll have like better scaling and stuff, because your HP won't be reduced and your stamina won't be getting drained as fast because you're not inside battle royale or arena, it will be pretty easy for you to farm with bomb as well. So if I'm being honest, this is probably like when you think of decent fruit in GPO for rares, I would think of bomb, because it serves its purpose, and it doesn't do it the best, but it also isn't bad at all. So yeah, bomb, I think B tier fits it really, really well, and that's actually going to be the first ranking. That was pretty easy, but bomb is a good fruit, and if you are using this tier list to base stuff off of eating it, like let's say if this guy says, oh, this is a good fruit, I'll eat it, that's also a good thing, because I guess it's tips about the fruit, so like information about it all. Moving on to the second fruit on this list though, we're going to have Bari. Now Bari, I'm going to place it right behind bomb, inside decent as well. You could probably even put Bari at the top of C, because Bari really only, actually, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place Bari inside C tier. Now Bari really only excels inside one thing, and that's just going to be PvP. If you go to farm with Bari, you'll realize very, very fast that this is not a farming fruit. Now Bari, it has stairs, it has cage, and it has spikes, and Bari doesn't do a lot of damage itself, so it's not like you're using Bari to mainly do damage. It's not a damaging fruit, it's just used for combos. You just do an up tilt, cage them, and combos them for that. So Bari is really just a PvP fruit, and since it's only good at one thing, you can't really rank it that high, because it's literally only good at PvP, but it's not like it's the best option as well. So I feel like top of C tier is really good, and farming this fruit is terrible. It's terrible. All you have is just a skill so that you could run away, which is Bari stairs with no cooldown. So yeah, it's good for pushing people out the zone though inside battle royale, but outside of that, it's also decent for combos, and that's really it for Bari. It's just annoying and decent. And for the third fruit, we have Gomu. Now this fruit, this is a hard ranking. I'm going to put it like, I don't know, because this fruit, I think you all know what you're thinking of when you think of Gomu. You're thinking of flowers with Gomu. Well, that's what I'm thinking of, because you can literally just do flowers instead of Gatling, and it literally is just like a one-shot combo depending on how much people you have Gatling. But if I'm looking at the fruit overall for farming and PvP, it's going behind Bari. So I'm looking at this from like a solo standpoint. If you was to use Gomu with a friend and they were to have flowers, and I'm specifically talking about BR mode for this, then Gomu would obviously be really good, because they could stun them and then you do your barrage. However, if you're looking at it as in you're a solo player, which is how I'm looking at it, and you're just deciding to use this fruit, all you really have to farm with is just Gatling. And it's good because it's a barrage. But you can also just get a fighting style and do the same thing, which is black leg. And Gomu, it does have a transportation skill, which is rocket, so that's good. It has a defensive skill like balloon, but balloon, it moves you around too much, and you still take damage. You just become a bigger target, but you take like 30 or 40% less damage. So I mean, it's an okay fruit, and that's really it. It doesn't have combos or anything like that. It's just you either put a lot of points into it so you could do damage, and that's it. Yeah, that's actually it for Gomu. You just put a lot of points into it so you could do damage. And moving on to the first legendary tier fruit on this tier list, which is going to be the Goro no Mi. Now, I personally used to hate this fruit. However, I am a changed man, and I'm going to give this fruit the respect that it deserves and put it as the first fruit inside the S tier ranking. This fruit for PvP is beautiful. Now, I'm not gonna hype it up as if it's the best, but if you're going at legendary fruits for PvP, it would be considered inside of your options because it's just good. Now, it's the lightning fruit, and you have 6 skills, and on top of that, you even have a transportation skill. You have electric flight, which you can actually change the direction of while you're flying, and it flies very fast because it's electricity. You have thunder shock. You can do an up tilt and just combo send off like the little thunder shock. You have lightning wrath, a dragon, flash smash, and the ultimate for the final zone literally is beautiful. Fruits that have huge ultimates excel in BR mode, especially in the final zone. I've won with Goro so much times in BR mode just because of the ultimate. It's such a good fruit. Like, and mind you, I'm mainly talking about PvP for this, but if you was to bring Goro in PvE and you was to go for like a fruit build, it would also be good too. It's not going to be the best because there's way better fruits that could do both of both worlds and excel in it, but Goro was good, and I do feel like it deserves S tier. Now, you could probably make an argument in saying it's not an S tier fruit, but if it's not an S tier fruit, then it's going to be a top of A tier, and I see this just like One Punch Man. If you're at the top of A tier rank 1, you can be promoted to S tier. So I'm personally going to put Goro on S tier, and if you're considering eating this fruit, I would say go for it. It's a really good fruit, a very good fruit. Moving on though, we have the next legendary fruit on this tier list, which is going to be the Gura no Mi, also known as Quake or Tremor. And this fruit, I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. Now, I want to say this can probably even be moved to the back of A tier. Actually, yeah, I'm going to move it to the back of A tier only because of how good it excels in PvP. Now, this fruit, everything on the guard break. It is still the only fruit inside the game where everything guard breaks on it. And I guess it makes sense because the person who used this fruit, he would guard break people in real life if he was actually able to do that. But this fruit, it is excellent for PvP. There's nothing it can't do in PvP outside of putting burn damage on your enemy. But you have multiple moves. You have a Sea Quake, which is very good for clearing out Battle Royale maps. It's really decent. It's like a little bit good for the final circle. It doesn't do the most damage, but it is a reliable ultimate. You have a grab where if you was to use this grab, you have iframes, and you can also combo extend off the grab if you're using the right weapon. You have an E skill, which is Shock Punch, where it's like an orb of air, I'm assuming, and it just guard breaks your enemy. It's really fast, and you can also combo extend off of that if you're good at the game. You have Blast Clutcher, Circle Ultimate Slam Down thingy. Girl is just a really good fruit for PvP, and it works really good in team battles, and it also works really good for solo as well. Plus, you can also charge up your skills and they will just do more damage, which is why I'm also placing it at the back of A tier for PvE. Now, there's only one skill you'll probably be using, or like 2 you'll probably be using for PvE, and this would really just be Blast Clutcher and the ultimate. You can use the other ones, just that if you was to use Blast Clutcher and you actually charge it up, it can do some pretty good damage if you put a lot into your dough. Now, I haven't used Gura for PvE in a very long time, but what I do know about the fruit is that it can be good depending on how much stats you have into your dough fruit stat. So that's why I'll put it all the way at the back for PvE, because if it's coming on like a PvE tier list for Gura, it would be like a 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 at most. But PvP, this fruit is beautiful. You could put it in 8 or maybe even 9, just depends on how you're using it and the weapons that you're using it with. But Gura is a really good fruit, and I don't know why it's so low inside the trade market. And the next legendary fruit that we have is actually going to be Hiei no Mi. Now this fruit, it is so good. It's one of the best fruits ever. And if I'm being honest, I am going to put Hiei in front of Goro in S tier. This, honestly, I feel like I could probably change around this decision. It's just that when I'm thinking of Hiei, I'll start off with PvE. It's really good if you put a lot into your devil fruit. You can spam Ice Stomp and it can honestly do up to like 200 or 300 damage. If you go a fruit build, your Parson can do up to 60 and that has no cooldown. Plus Ice Spike is a really fast transportation skill. And the fruit does have a pretty good guard break, a very good, probably the best guard break inside the game, which is Ice Stomp. So honestly, Hiei can definitely go excel in PvE. And even for PvP as well, he is also a very good fruit. Alright, the next devil fruit that we have is going to be the Horo no Mi. This is a D tier. I don't even remember Horo. What can you do with it? I've seen the strategy for Battle Royale mode where you just put 1000 into Horo and you could like do some crazy explosions. And I've had people try to do that against me in BR mode, and I guess it does do damage, but outside of that, if you're having 1000 into your devil fruit, you're sacrificing either your health, your M1 damage, or your stamina, because you only have 1500 points, and if you distribute 500 points between all three of those, you're not going to be doing anything. You're not going to have no health, you're not going to have either no stamina, and you would need stamina to do the 1000, so you're just either sacrificing damage or it doesn't work well. That's why you don't see most people doing it. And for farming, I don't even think, what can you do with this fruit to farm? Moving on to the next legendary fruit on this tier list, we have Ito no Mi, also known as the string fruit. And this fruit is only a PvP fruit. This fruit was made for PvP. All the fruit can do is PvP, and it excels very good in PvP. This is probably either one of the top 3 best PvP fruits inside the whole entire game. But when it comes to PvE, don't even use it. Don't use this fruit for PvE. So I guess I'll talk about Ito for PvE. All you can do is sky strings, and that's just a mobility skill. That's it. You don't do enough damage for PvE to actually be able to farm. I haven't seen a video with 1500 into Ito, but I would still guess that it would be worse than any other fruit on this tier list for PvE. So I'm going to put Ito, my bad. I'm gonna put Ito at the top of B tier, only because it's a 10 out of 10 for PvP. And next we have the Kage no Mi, also known as the Shadow Fruit. And this fruit is literally just mixed opinions on it. I don't know if it's good or bad. Now what I do know about Kage for PvE is that is it okay? That's probably like underwhelming is what I'll say. Because when I think about it for PvE, only skill that you really have is like a barrage. And it's not like that barrage was made for PvE, it's a barrage made to combo extend for PvP. So I'm going to put it behind Ito, and I guess I'll explain that a little bit more, because for PvE, all you would really have is just like the clone, and I guess when the clone's using its attacks, you can also use your attacks. But it will eat your stamina very fast, like your stamina is gone. I have eaten it once inside Battle Royale, and it was an interesting experience. You can do good in PvP with this fruit. Like, if you know what you're doing, this fruit can be good. Like, it's a good fruit for PvP. PvE though, it's underwhelming, and I feel like that's why it's hard for me to rate it. I haven't really used it, and it just seems mid. Literally, I'm not even trying to be funny or weird. It just seems like a really underwhelming fruit, and I wouldn't recommend eating it if I'm being honest. The next fruit though that we have is actually going to be a common fruit, which is Kilo no Mi. With this fruit, you only have 2 skills. You have Rise, and it makes you rise up or down. Then you have Slam, and this fruit is actually going behind Horo. I'll just say it quickly. To use the Slam down skill inside Arena or Battle Royale, you have to have your ultimate bar full. This would also go towards dungeons, which means with this fruit, you can't even farm unless you do the damage with something else. And on top of that, it eats your stamina very very fast. Now the explosion, even when you do it, it's gonna do like 300 damage. It's not good, and it's not like the explosion would be the size of the whole entire map. Like it's not even a huge size, so it's just a really underwhelming fruit. But it's also a common, so I guess it does depend here. Like it's literally the perfect spot for what the type of fruit that it is, a common. Now we're moving on to one of the big dog fruits inside the game, the Magu no Mi, and I'm just going to put this fruit automatically in S tier. Now, it's just a powerhouse. Imagine burn damage to the max and skills that you can just spam in a really good guard break, and then you have Magu. So I guess I'll start off for PvE. Your burn can do up to like 40 damage. It's so crazy, and it's you have such spammable skills. You have Magma Swamp, which is a ticking barrage that does burn damage and damage at the same time while you're just sitting under them. So you have Magma Swamp, and then after that, all of like the fist skills do a lot of damage and they're fast. You have Magma Eruption, also burn damage, and then the ultimate, it's just more burn damage, and it's so strong too because Magu is just such an OP fruit. It's literally such an OP fruit. And then when you look at it for PvP, you have Magma Eruption, which is one of the best guard breaks inside the game. It's like you just press R and you do like 200 to 300 HP, and then you can use the fist skill to add extra 100 on top of that. Magma, it deserves an S tier spot. I'm actually gonna put it at the top of S tier for now because there's nothing that really compares to it. And there's only one thing that can compare to Magu, which is the best fruit inside the game in my opinion, which is going to be the Mera no Mi. This fruit can do everything Magma can, and slightly better. Magma does have better burn damage, and it makes sense. If I was to put Magma on your head, I'm pretty sure it would burn more if I was to light your head on fire. Mera, in the final zone, if you've been inside the final zone in Battle Royale, you've had to at least seen one Enkai once. You know what Enkai does inside the final zone. It's literally, I would say it's the best ultimate attack for final zone outside of Goro's Thunder Greeting. Because Mera's burn damage, it ticks for the longest. Mera does not have the highest burn damage, but it does tick for the longest. So, if you get hit with an Enkai final zone, and you get pushed out the zone, you're taking the zone damage while the burn damage and the raw damage from the Enkai. Fireflies do so much damage and put burn damage on you that lasts very, very long. Mera is just that fruit. Plus, the mobility skill recently got buffed and you can actually fly fast with it too. Mera is literally that fruit. Like, for PvP, this fruit can be, I would say, like an 8 to 7 out of 10. The skills are easily perfect blockable if you're fighting like a really good player, but at the same time, if you know what you're doing with Mera, you can easily defend yourself from damage and put out the amount of damage because Mera just does a lot of damage. If you eat Dragon Claw with Mera, you're weird, and you also do a lot of damage. So it's just like, Mera is literally that fruit. It just goes too well with so much things. Moving on though, what we have next is going to be Mero no Mi. And judging from where I placed this in my last tier list, which was like, I think C tier, D tier, it's definitely going up. I'm going to place Mero right behind Ito in B tier. Now, what I do want to say is, I feel slightly wrong putting it in front of Bomb and Kage, both for farming, but it's just too good at PvP to be placed behind both of them. Mero for PvP, you have stuns. Like, if you was to eat this in Battle Royale mode, you can pull off an 800 damage combo easily. Mero has like 2 combo extenders, or maybe even 3 depending on how close you are to the wall. But it does have at least 1 true combo extender, which would be Love Charm. You just do an up tilt Love Charm, and then you can combo extend with whatever weapon you're doing. So it's just a combo resetter. It's actually kind of crazy to me that I'm placing it in front of Legendary, but it is a really good fruit, and I do feel like it deserves the position that it's in because it's just such a good fruit. It's a really good fruit. Mochi, also known as dough. And for this fruit, I'm going to place it in the middle of S tier. I don't know if I feel comfortable placing it in front of Goro. I do. But Mochi, I guess I'll give you a quick rundown with it. It's just really good. You have like 7 or 8 skills. The one time I used Mochi in BR mode, I was 1, chased around the whole entire map, and 2, it was just hard for me to know which button did which because you have a lot of skills. You have so much skills and you can just put out a lot of damage with a lot of guard breaks. So it just makes sense why Mochi would be here. And on top of that, if you have Ken Haki with Mochi, you have moving iframes. It's so stupid to me because it makes sense, so that's what Katakuri was technically doing. But it's like, you have moving iframes, which is just crazy. So Mochi, it's a mythical fruit, and it does deserve this position as the 3rd best S tier fruit from this ranking right now. It's just really, really good. It's really good, and if you eat it, you can't go wrong with it. Moving on from that though, we have my 2nd favorite fruit inside the game, which is going to be the Niku no Mi, also known as the Paw Paw fruit. I do feel like when this fruit released, it was definitely underrated by the community because there wasn't much people who would use it, because hey, they either just don't like paw or they just never been in such a situation to use it. However, with BR mode being introduced and people using a lot of fruits that they haven't used before, including myself, I feel like paw has been loved by the community a lot more recently, which is why I'm gonna use that to justify my placement for paw at the back of A tier, or should I just say behind Gura for now. Paw, it's a really good fruit. Now, farming with paw, you won't have any like barrage skills that can output a lot of damage. However, you have some skills that can just do a lot of damage if you simply put enough points in Devil Fruit, and you can use that to farm very, very easily. Your ultimate too, the lower you get, the more damage it does, plus it takes up so much space. It's just kind of crazy. So it's like, paw, it's a really good fruit. So I think it is the top of A tier right now. Moving on from this though, we probably have the most favorited fruit in GPO from what I can tell. We have Pika no Mi, also known as the light fruit. I don't know where I want to put it. I either am going to put it at the top of A tier or the very, very back of S tier. And I guess I'll start explaining why while I think of a position to place it in. Pika for PvE, it's really good. It's really good. You have Light Ray, which is a carry, and it's actually perfect for PvE is what I would say. Now, yeah, I would probably place Pika as the best PvE fruit inside the game. You have Light Ray, Jewels of Light, and you also have Light Kick, which is just fast. So it's like, it serves this purpose for PvE, and it definitely is the best PvE fruit. And then for PvP with Pika, you have Light Lunge. Mera Kick is, it's 50-50, because if you're finding somebody decent, they can perfect block it. Pika for PvP, I would say it's okay, like a 5 or 6 out of 10 the most. But okay, I think I'm gonna place Pika at the top of A tier. I don't know why any of these 3 fruits isn't valued over Pika outside of the mobility. Pika has some of the best mobility inside the game. Pretty sure Tori's faster than it, but that's, well, it's better than all of these for farming. But the fact that all of these fruits up here can farm, and it's better than Pika for PvP. But Pika is the best for PvE. Like, you see, this is why it's hard, because majority of the community does do PvE. But this is a tier list involving everything, which includes PvP. So it's like, it's mid for PvP. It's mid. It's just good, or should I say okay. I think that like the top of A tier with a hint of S tier in it is perfect for Pika. Moving on from that though, we have the next common fruit, which is Spin. And you know what? I'm going to place Spin in front of Horo. I do feel like I'm doing Horo a little bit wrong, because there was some crazy combo back then, and I'm pretty sure it's still true now. We could do like Horo Kraken Greatsword or something like that. It's been so long since I've seen a Horo user in Arena. And if a Horo user is playing dungeons, it gotta be with your soul. So I'll play Spin in front of Horo. Huh. Is Spin in front of Horo? Why not? They're both still inside D tier. Yeah, I'll play Spin in front of Horo. And moving on to Suke. Now this fruit, I'm gonna place it. I'm placing it in the middle of C tier. Now you're probably saying in front of Gomu, you can't even farm with Suke. And yes, you're right. Okay, you're really right. Okay, Suke is just going to be at the back of C tier. You can go invisible. And if you've used it inside of BR mode, you can use it to steal loot. You can use it to sneak up on a player and wall combo them. It's just really good. It's literally really good. Like, it serves its purpose. It's probably the most tactical fruit for BR mode outside of paw, because you can just go invisible and there's nothing that can really detect you unless they like listen and see your footprints on the floor moving. And I feel like that's enough to put Suke at the back of C tier. Core users will probably get really mad, but they don't even exist. So, yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I'll put Suke at the back of C tier. And moving on from that, what we have next is my personal favorite fruit inside the game. Call me weird if you want to, but it is Suna no Mi, also known as the sand fruit. And I'm going to be completely honest. Suna is at the back of A tier. Now look. I know every Ito Kraken Greatsword user is mad right now that's watching this video. But this is PvE and PvP. Suna for PvP, it's not even bad. I would say it's a 6 out of 10. There's definitely better, but Suna serves its purpose. You can make the argument for Suna being a 7 out of 10. My Suna for PvP is a 7 out of 10, but Suna itself for PvP, I would say 6 out of 10. It's a good fruit. And for farming, you have Desert Storm, you have your ultimate, and that's pretty much all you need. You can also fly. It's better than every single fruit below it for farming. That is a fact. It's a little bit biased. Just a little. And moving on to the next fruit, we have Yami no Mi, also known as the darkness fruit. And this fruit, I've used it, and it's fun. Okay, I will say this, Yami is fun, but it is bad for farming. Bad. So I'm gonna put it in the middle of A tier. When you're farming with Yami, you can do it. Like, it's not terrible, and you can definitely do it, but it's just okay. I've done a complete Yami fruit review, so it's like I've used this fruit for a while. I think I had it for like 3 weeks or maybe even a month, and what I've learned from my time using it is that it's good. It's just a good fruit. Now, Yami inside arena or just PvP in general is probably the best fruit we can get. I'm pretty sure you can combo extend off of 3 skills with Yami, so it's just very good for PvP. That's what I'll say about Yami. If you want to eat this fruit though, you should. It's really fun. Next we have Yomi no Mi, also the only epic inside the game still. And Yomi, damn, can Yomi even farm? You're not farming with solo, so only thing that you have to farm with Yomi is just your ultimate. I'm going to put Yomi at the top of B tier. Yomi's also one of those fruits where it's just PvP, which is exactly probably why I put it right near Ito, but Yomi's good for PvP, which is why it will get this placement. And next we have the newest fruit out at the time of recording this video, Yuki no Mi, also known as the snow fruit. This is probably the best PvP fruit, just because of you technically have 3 barrages, and 2 of them combo extend. Well, one's a combo finisher, the next one's a combo extender. So it's like, you can do an up tilt into snowstorm, I'm pretty sure. And then you can also do like the other one. Plus, you have a turret skill for farming. I'm gonna put it in front of Mochi. I don't know if I'm comfortable with this because like the fruit's new and I haven't seen the most of it. However, if I'm thinking right, you have a turret, you have blizzard, you have snow gust, you have snowstorm. You also have an iframe skill with Yuki. There's no way Yuki's going to stay the way it is. But it's a pretty good fruit. And the second to last fruit, one of my old favorite fruits, we have Zushi no Mi, also known as the gravity fruit. And this fruit, I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. Now, Pika is definitely... Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm going to put it at 2nd place in A tier. Pika's way better for PvE. Zushi is probably the 2nd or 3rd best fruit for PvP. Like I said, it's really between like 4 to 5 fruits for PvP when you're talking about like top of it. But Zushi, you have pull, broken. You have, gravity dominance actually combo extends now, which is insane. So it's just like Zushi, it's a reliable fruit. I don't know why it's so low inside the market, because you can literally farm with it better than half the fruits on this list, but people probably just want them because of probably just like the color appeals to people more. I don't know. Zushi, it's a really good fruit. Probably my third favorite fruit inside the game, behind Paul and Suna, but it does deserve the second place in A tier. It's better than all of these fruits for farming. And moving on to the next, or should I say the final devil fruit. I left this one for last because it's the hardest one for me to rank. We have Reworked Tori no Mi. Bro, I don't know where to put it. For PvP, you really just want to use your base form. There's Talon Barrage and Triple Talon Kick. Those are your best skills. And it's like, if you go a fruit build with Tori, it's going to do really good. You're practically unkillable. I was streaming with it in Arena. I even have clips. I probably have clips of Tori PvP playing up right now on the screen. But like, Tori, it's just good. It's so crazy how good it is for PvP. It's not the best, but you can, like, if you give this to a really good player, they're probably gonna go on like a 50 win streak because you're unkillable. Like, with full form right now, if you go it for like 5 seconds, you heal to full instantly. Like, it's so fast and it doesn't even take that much stamina. However, since it's that good inside PvP, when you come to Tori for PvE, it's butt. It's literally butt. All you would have is just burst. I mean, you also have Phoenix Brand, but that doesn't do enough damage. All you would have is just burst, and you have to go full form for that. So it's like, yeah. So if I'm being true, and even though it's reworked, it's just crazy to me how it's still like kind of mid. I'm going to place Tori like 5th inside A tier. Now, Mochi's definitely still better overall. Like, Mochi's definitely a better fruit overall. But Tori's still good. Like I said, for PvP, you're practically unkillable. And you can, like, it's really good for PvP. Is it better than Yami? No. It's not better than Yami, Paul, or Zushi. But it is better than Pika. It's probably better than Hiei for PvP. Definitely Goro. Definitely, I don't know if it's better than Mochi. It's not anything, not those three. Does it belong at the back of S tier? Nah, cause it's so bad for PvE. Like, it's terrible. I'm gonna put it, but it's better than Yami for PvE. It's better than Yami for PvE. It's not better than Paw. I'm gonna put it in the middle of A tier. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. Now, I feel weird, but that's just because Pika's here. It's inside the middle of the A tier, and it feels so weird to me because, like, you wouldn't expect the reworked, the mythical fruit to still be a little bit underwhelming. But honestly, I think this is going to be my overall tier list. So let me know what you think about it. I'm going to look at it a little bit more before I make the final executive decision for it. But so far, what these top 3 fruits, Mera, Magu, and Snow, beautiful. All 3 of these fruits are If you enjoyed this video, or if it helped you make a trade, or if you just decided that you wanted to eat a certain fruit from this video, please feel free to like the video and subscribe. I appreciate all the support on my channel. We're actually about to start the new year's off with 22,000 subscribers, so I guess I'll make my goal 44,000 subscribers. However, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and every like for this video, I'll give away a Yuki. Yeah, thanks for watching again.